Hey everyone, so we took a little break, but now we're back with Robert. Of course, he's the owner of the Museum of Military Memorabilia.
President.
And, of course, this is the second anniversary of this location. So can you tell us a little bit about, the second anniversary and some of the events that are going on today?
Yes. The second anniversary this year has been different than our first anniversary. Our first anniversary, everything was World War II.
Okay.
And starting this past January, we were allowed to start moving out into the hallway here. Okay. And now that we've done that, we can go from 1776 up through today. And this happens to be Vietnam. And by doing that now, we can do these outside displays in from the Civil War all the way to Afghanistan and Iraq. And this year we chose to do Vietnam, mainly over there. Okay. Vietnam through, we have some Afghanistan stuff from a couple of years ago. And then at this end we still kept it at World War II. But we had two guest speakers today. At 11:30, Mrs. Sundie. She was a schoolgirl, her and her sister, in Norway, when Germany invaded Norway on April 9th, 1940. And she was given her presentation today on how they existed under Nazi control.
Okay.
And I, unfortunately, didn't hear any of it because I was you get in that position and you can't go and see all these wonderful presentations. And but anyway, so I wasn't able to do that, but I understand it was excellent. And at 12:30, the Boy Scouts were here, and the airport personnel, the Boy Scouts, and myself were doing a flag retirement into incinerate. Yes. And that was for about an hour.
Okay.
And then the presentation that just finished started at 1:30, and his name is Darren Moran, and he did the 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment on D-Day. And what was really interesting about that is on the other side of these cases, we have a display on the two top shelves of a 508th B Company 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment, who jumped in Normandy and actually then jumped in Market Garden, and that's where he was killed. But his niece and her husband are friends of mine, and they were here to hear that presentation. So that was pretty cool, to have somebody that has direct contact with the 508th. The next presentation is going to be 3 or 3:30, and there are 38 photographs and stories of service men, and I'm not sure if there's any women. I think it's just all men that were killed in Vietnam, from Collier County, Lee County, and maybe DeSoto County. I don't think it's Charlotte County. Anyway, they're going to read the names of all those men and or boys back then, and we're going to ring the bell for each one of them. And I believe there are some Gold Star mothers here for this. Just because I'm the president doesn't mean I know what's going on. So that's rumor that there's some Gold Star mothers here. We will find out in about a half hour, it looks like. And then that's pretty much it for today. So this anniversary was kind of special for us because it allows us to do other things than World War II. And
you can kind of spread out to different generations.
Yes, yeah. And next year we may have even more.
And now, before we end this off, you were talking a little bit you didn't really talk as much about, Boy Scouts coming in and, incinerating the flags. Can you tell us why that is, primary if you're going to dispose of flags, and why? Because there's a lot of flags out there today. There was a lot, and obviously you said it took an hour, so that definitely took a while to do.
We did roughly 300.
Wow.
Flags need to be destroyed properly. They shouldn't be wadded up and thrown in a garbage can. Look how many men and women have died in all the wars, and the flag is, that's our country. It's got to have respect and honor, and they're folded in the triangular fold, just like for a cemetery. For a funeral, and that gives them the respect, and then they have to be burnt in an incinerator, so that that's the most respect. You can bury them, but most people destroy them with and there's you say a few words to the scouts as they're handing them to you, and you salute, and they salute back at you, and then that person then takes them and goes through the same procedure for the man who actually goes or the person who actually goes and drops them into the incinerator.
Yep.
So it teaches respect to the young Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
You got to give as much respect to the flag as you were to the person who served.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, lastly, just to make sure, if the viewers didn't watch any of the last videos, how can they learn more information about the Museum of Military Memorabilia, and maybe, learn a little bit about it and learn about any future events?
We have the webmaster right here, and he can explain that to you very well. Yes, he can. Come over here, webmaster.
Hello.
Hello. So can you tell us a little, where the viewers can, maybe go to, maybe a website or a YouTube account or anywhere that they can go to?
Things. I don't know them.
Museum-mm.org is the museum website, and I try to make it interesting to people. We have sections with pictures from other events, and I recently have started investigating all the battles in Europe and Asia, and I have them listed under battles. It's up in the top section. You click on it and it drops down, and eventually every story will have either a slideshow or a couple of YouTube videos to explain what the story is. Since I wasn't there, I have to read about everything and then type it out, so it's interesting to read, which I don't have a lot of experience at, but it seems to work. But I have getting more and more YouTube videos that, it's important the videos that I use aren't violent, they're not political. I just want the video to back up the story that I wrote. So people that don't want to read the whole story, they can watch a video and it'll tell them the same thing. It'll be in pictures instead. I don't have a lot of videos yet, but I'm starting that now. I got about 19 battles done. And I just, I'll cover something like this and write a post about it, put it on the webpage.
Can I interrupt just for a second?
Please do.
They're getting ready to start doing the... So,
thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, you can finish with him.
Thank you.
I just got to go.
Okay. And is there anything else?
Just go, man. Museum / whatever this one is. It's not. I guess it's not a slash. It's a colon. I'm not very good with English. Anyway, it's museum-mm.org, which means it's a nonprofit. You can go there. You can donate money if you want to. There's a little thing set up for that. You can join the website. You don't have to join the museum or anything, but you can join the website, and every month you'll get a newsletter telling you what's new on the website. And that's just like one long page. But it's pretty interesting. I'm disabled, so I don't have a real job, so I do that all day long. You know, just donate my time to the museum. And it's a lot of fun.
All right, well, thank you for giving the viewers and me that information.
Ready for this interview. I just kind of got thrust into it.
It's fine. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more in the future, and we'll see you later.
Woods, Army found MIA. He was missing in action until 9/9/13. He was killed in action on October the 24th, 64. We have Specialist 5, Ernest M. Schultz III, Army, killed in action February 10th, 1965. Private First Class Christopher J. Dean Jr., Army, killed in action May 11th, 1966. Private First Class George Daniel Beeson, Marine Corps, killed in action 12/13/1966. Private First Class Dale Vincent Bremerman Jr., Marine Corps, killed in action March 1st, 1967. Private First Class Thomas Lee McGee, Marine Corps, killed in action March 11th, 1967. Private First Class George Dennis Johnson, Marine Corps, March 16th, 1967. Sergeant Charles W. McKinney Jr., Army, killed in action April 27th, 1967. Sergeant William B. Brown, Army, killed in action July 22nd, 1967. Private First Class Willie Michael Rhodes, Army, killed in action August 8th, 1967. Corporal Robert Hugh Steele, Marine Corps, killed in action August 28th, 1967. Second Lieutenant Harold Bascom Durham Jr., Army, Medal of Honor recipient, killed in action October 17th, 1967. First Lieutenant Robert Harry Darling, Army, killed in action November 6th, 1967. Corporal James Doyle Rader, Marine Corps, the Disabled Veterans of America post up in Cape Coral is named for him, killed in action December 6th, 1967. Private First Class Clayton Marquise Spanauer, Army, killed in action December 6th, 1967. Specialist 4 Coley Wilson Bryant, Army, killed in action January 13th, 1968. Specialist 5 John Lumsden Barnes, Army, killed in action January 19th, 1968. Lance Corporal Norman Casey Ballard, Marine Corps, killed in action on January 30th, 1968. Staff Sergeant William Neal Flint, Army, killed in action February 9th, 1968. Specialist 4 Nickolas Joseph Capina, Army, Medal of Honor recipient, killed in action March 2nd, 1968. Sergeant Robert Eugene Witten, Army, killed in action May 8th, 1968. Sergeant Robert Lewis Cruz, Army, killed in action May 22nd, 1968. Captain John Kent Hayward, Army. Father was killed in World War II. He was killed in Vietnam. His son is currently serving in Afghanistan. The tradition continues. Army, killed in action December 17th, 1968. Specialist 4, James Alfred Lucky, Army, killed in action January 25th, 1969. Sergeant James Arthur Anderson, Army, killed in action February 23rd, 1969. Private First Class Paul Edward Irvin, Army, killed in action March 12th, 1969. Private First Class Charles C. Anthony, Army, there's a park named for him in Naples, killed in action May 12th, 1969. Specialist 4 Ronald Renee Kirkpatrick, Army, killed August 7th, 1969. Sergeant First Class Thomas J. Smallwood, family is present. Army, killed in action October 31st, 1969. Corporal Donald William Atwell Jr., Army, killed in action December 27th, 1969. First Lieutenant Gerald Richard Hosworth, Army, killed in action March 14th, 1970. Sergeant Eugene Gene Floyd, Army, killed in action April 1st, 1970. Private First Class Larry Gene Batcher, Army, killed in action October 12th, 1970. Sergeant William Edward Dillander, Army, found missing in action April 12th, 06. Killed in action March 20th, 1971. Private First Class Stephen Douglas Bukowski, Army, killed in action March 22nd, 1971. Master Sergeant David Bartlett Fitzgerald, Army, killed in action April 5th, 1971. And Tech Sergeant John Hubbard Sanders, Army, killed in action April 15th, 1972. These 38 men are from Lee, Collier, and Hendry counties. They were all local heroes. They answered their country's call. They went to defend the freedom of a people they didn't even know. And if we have to look any further than that, go to the scriptures. No greater love than to lay down thy life for thy brothers, and anyone who believes in freedom is our brother. Thank you. And now the bell ringing.
Now I ask all those who are present who served in the United States military to present arms. To those who have gone on before us, one day we will all be together again in thy heavenly Father's kingdom. We thank thee, O Lord, for all your many blessings. We thank you for such men and women who serve in the United States military, past, present, and future. The cost of freedom is sacrifice. Those who have borne it know what it means. Those who take it for granted need to learn. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for all of you participating with us today. Order arms. Thank you all very much. We appreciate very much the fact that the Smallwoods came here. In fact, the wife came all the way from Texas. She works for the VA. She continues to honor her husband's memory, as her and her children all do. We thank you all for taking the time to honor each and every one of those. I know we all know friends. We all miss them. And again, we will be together someday. Thank you all for participating with us today. We're not packing up anything. There's still some food left and some refreshments. We hope you all had a wonderful day. We feel honored with the opportunity to present these artifacts in memory of those who sacrificed. Thank you.